Good evening. Well, first of all, credit to North Carolina for winning the game. They got a good team, good players, and certainly found a way to get it done. A lot of good effort on the field in the first half. Certainly felt like we were affecting their quarterback, albeit the one fumble that we started finding our way offensively and moving the ball down the field, affecting their quarterback enough to put ourselves in a position to take the lead right before halftime with a drive. They came out in the second half, took the momentum with the big play and the touchdown, and then we had a successive series where we turned the ball over. One, I believe, was on a snap, the other one on an interception. Then find ourselves at the end just trying to catch up, with time running pretty quickly. Again, obviously disappointed, especially after we felt we were progressing in the first half. And credit to North Carolina as well. So, questions, please.
Mario, when they went up tempo offensively, it seemed to really work for them. They were creating a lot of havoc, confusion. How big of a factor did you think that was?
They're good at it. Getting lined up to it is always the issue, and simulating their tempo is difficult. They do, again, a really good job, and sometimes they catch you in a misalignment. Sometimes they catch you in a moment of fatigue. But they had success with some of their tempo stuff. We had some success early, throwing them off with some of our pressures and stunts. But they, the play count as it got higher, their tempo was more effective.
Mario, Tyler, I think, had a career high yardage, or at least a lot of touchdowns tonight. But he still got hit hard and had, I guess, a tough game also. Can you talk about how he is and his? We had heard on ABC something about his hand, and there was just all kinds of stuff going on. How is he?
No, I think when we were in catch-up mode, it's difficult on him. It's difficult on the offensive line. You're sitting back there and you're protecting and drop back, and that's very difficult to do. In 5- and 6-man protection for a while. I know he took a shot, earlier in the game when he threw the touchdown pass as well. From a free hitter, which again is outnumbered in protection, but he's really, really tough. It's that kind of game. We hit their quarterback, they hit our quarterback. Both teams threw the ball a lot, and with both have good offensive lines and good defensive lines, and so there was going to be some give and take, and certainly appreciate him and his toughness for fighting through and finding a way to finish the game.
Mario, from your point of view, just what changed after halftime? You obviously went into halftime with a lead. They come out and score, 3 unanswered touchdowns.
Yeah, we affected the quarterback in the first half and limited the explosive plays. And when they got their explosive plays, they made them and got us on them in the second half. And tempo affected us a little bit more, and we didn't affect their quarterback as much. But that being said, that's what affected the defensive side. The offensive side, we certainly had our chance, right? We came out, we're moving the ball. We have, the snap just wasn't on the money. Again, guys are trying their butt off. That ball bounces around, they pick it up, and then we end up turning the ball over on the next drive. So, we had been moving the ball really well those last 4 series of the first half, and we come out the second half. They score twice, and we turn the ball over twice. That tilted the momentum. We found ourselves trying to catch that momentum back, and never did.
And you mentioned explosive plays. Obviously, Tez Walker, big game tonight. What did he do that was so effective against you guys?
He's a big, fast guy. We mistimed the post route that he caught. Jaden's trying to make a play there. And credit to both Jaden and to Walker. Great ball. Drake May's a great quarterback, and he put that ball exactly where it needed to be put. And as hard as we try to cover that one got away from us. But it wasn't a lack of effort. And that was really 2 guys really competing hard and trying to make a play, and they made it.
Mario, you guys, I know the last interception, he's just trying to make a play there at the end, but 9 turnovers, I think, now in 2 games for you guys. And then some costly penalties, obviously, early on in this game. How much of this is self-inflicted where you guys are just kind of hurting yourselves?
Yeah, we did early today. There's no doubt about that. We had a chance to score. We're trying to make a play, and the ball squirts out. We've been really good about holding on to that ball early in the season. In the last couple of games, it's gotten us. And we, like we talked about in there, this is, the way our organization is built is there's no time for self-pity. There's no time for negativity or pointing fingers or getting in the shell and balling up or whatnot. It's really addressing the things that we got to get better at, getting away from things that we're not really good at, and get better. That's it. That's all we can be focused on. That's, being a member of this team is unconditional. Whether it's a win or a loss, and when you have opportunities that you allow slip away, you got to take it as a whole. You got to take it as coaches. You got to take it as players. You got to take it as we got to teach it better. You got to execute it better. You just take it. So.
Obviously, you guys had limited tape on Tez Walker in the week, so my voice is gone. How were you able to just prepare for him, specifically in practices this week, scouting him?
Well, I think what they do schematically already incorporates what they would have done with him. They've got a lot of really talented players. They've got a lot of really good wide receivers. But we know of his ability. He's a guy that everybody recruited. Once he was in the portal. So you prepare the best of your ability, try to create your best matchups, and sometimes you just got to win those matchups, right? You can't. Anytime you take away one guy from this area, from the box, to double cover somebody, you expose yourself on the other side, right, in the run game. So playing cat and mouse there for a little bit, and today, they got more than we did.
Mario, what did UNC do to kind of clog up running lanes and make things difficult in the run game for you guys?
Well, I think a couple times we maybe were a little bit impatient, where you got to set this thing up a little bit before it pops. They did really well against the 11 runs, 11 personnel runs. Our open set runs were hitting pretty good. I don't know how much we did in 12, but they seem to have some air in them as well. I got a couple that spit out a little bit. But we generated some good stuff in the first half. In the second half, I'm going to have to watch tape. I feel like the A gaps had enough air to squeeze some stuff out, but it didn't show out that way. So credit to them.
Mario,
more for Coach.
how's the morale of these guys? I know 0-2 in the ACC is not the way you wanted to start the year, but we know there's a different group too, different leaders. How are they sort of responding right after?
I think they're real. Number one, they're disappointed. I told them they should be disappointed, and they know it. They should be pissed, but also in the right kind of way, because there's a lot of good effort. There are some bright spots, and the stuff that needs to be cleaned up can be cleaned up, so we can be a good football team, as good as we can be. And that's just being very real. There's no sugarcoating. There's no masking or trying to pretend that there's areas that we can coach and play better at, that it's going to make us better, and some other areas we got to remedy with scheme or whatnot. And so we're very realistic about that, and I think they have a very realistic approach to the future and the progress of this team. They've seen what we can do when we're really good, and they've seen what we do when we get, when it gets away from us a little bit. So I think they're ready to just get back to work and improve and get better.
Mario,
Last question.
you mentioned earlier about getting pressure on Drake May. Obviously, you did a very good job of that, especially in the first half. Just, earlier in the year, it seems like you guys are getting a lot of pressure, but not really getting home a lot. What changed, do you think, tonight?
Well, I think that play design, scheme design was helpful. I think guys like Ruben Bain playing more downs, more snaps, really starting to feel comfortable now playing at this level. Being a freshman, having Branson Dean back has helped a bunch as well. He's a good football player. Got to see, I know Nice League got banged up. A couple other guys really popped and showed out and really strained to get to the quarterback. Rushing the passer is an attitude, it's a demeanor, it's a mentality. It's like, it's at all costs, right? And we have a couple guys that have that, and we're going to keep developing that type of an appetite to get to the quarterback.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.